At some point in time, you would have dealt with change, either you undergoing major changes in your life or you having to implement changes in your organization. But how difficult is it really to undergo the change process? How true is this? When asked about who wants change, everyone's excited. But when asked who wants to change, everyone falls silent. Good day, I'm Jonah, and I'll be explaining Kurt Lewin's change theory as discussed in the article of Edgar Schein that looks into a model of managed learning. Human change, whether at the individual or group level, is a profound dynamic process. It involves painful unlearning without loss of ego identity and difficult relearning as you attempt to restructure your thoughts, feelings, and attitudes. What Lewin is saying is that the stability of human behavior is based on quasi-stationary equilibria. The large force field affecting the equilibrium is supported by driving and restraining forces. Driving forces are usually already present in the system. But what's harder to get at are the restraining forces because usually there are personal psychological defenses or group norms embedded in the organizational or community culture. Therefore, resistance to change happens. Maybe we don't want to go to the other direction because we're so used to our old ways. Kurt Lewin's change theory is composed of 3 steps. This is based on the analogy of ice, so we will also use it in our discussion to illustrate his points. The first step is unfreezing. If you've got ice cubes, you need to unfreeze them in order to mold them into a different shape. Which brings us to the next step, changing. In this step, you provide the right environment for the change to happen. Introducing heat, for example, will melt the ice cube so you can mold it to your liking. The third step is refreezing. Who knows, maybe you fancy shark fin-shaped ice, which will make a good conversation starter in parties. By undergoing through the 3 steps, you are able to implement change and make sure the change sticks among the people within the organization. In order to unfreeze, some form of dissatisfaction or frustration must be present for the learning and change to start. You must feel that if you do not change, you will fail to meet your needs or fail to achieve some goals you've set for yourself. This is called survival anxiety. However, you may feel scared to learn something new in relation to the change, because to you it may mean that something is wrong or that you are not an effective person. This is called learning anxiety. And in order to produce change, the learning anxiety must be resolved through psychological safety. By providing an environment that makes you feel safe to commit mistakes while learning, you can become motivated to change. Psychological safety is an important motivator. However, what Lewin wants to emphasize is that while it creates motivation to learn, it does not necessarily control or predict the direction of learning. One of the key elements of a managed change process is providing a role model for the learners. Alternatively, you can also undergo a process called scanning insight, which is a type of trial and error learning where you try to find the solution for the issues or challenges you are trying to resolve. For the last step to occur, the refreezing, the new behavior must be congruent with the rest of the behavior and personality of the learner. Otherwise, it will simply set off new rounds of disconfirmation that often lead to unlearning the very thing that you have learned. In summary, in order for unfreezing to occur, you must feel survival safety or some form of dissatisfaction from the status quo. A psychologically safe environment to address learning anxiety is a key element to drive change. Choosing a role model or doing a trial and error process can be utilized in order to implement change. And in the last step, you need to make sure that the refreezing occurs at the personal and group level to sustain change. You must remember that as an agent of change, everything you do with a client is already an intervention. Merely asking questions, for example, would already make them reflect about their current situation. In order to be an effective change agent, you must access your ignorance and let go of your expert role so you can get attuned to the client system. Only when you have genuinely understood the problem and what kind of help is needed through your collaborative work with the learners can you even begin to think about recommendations and solutions. Only then can the planned change process be fully implemented and evaluated. Thank you very much, and I hope I was able to impart important knowledge to you. Have a nice day.